So this is just the continuation of our discussions on thermochemistry. Pero sa video na to, I'll focus on physical changes only. So changes in temperature and phase lang. Yung mga chemical reactions, I'll discuss that on the next video. So mag-start ako sa temperature-dependent heat capacities. So mostly, na-observe lang siya sa gases. Kasi yung liquids and solids, they have almost constant values of CPs. Kasi they are almost impervious to changes ng CP nila throughout dun sa temperature kung saan nag-exist yung phases nila. Okay? Sa gases, sensitive yung changes ng CP depende sa temperature. So, empirically, the CP is expressed in either forms. CP is A plus BT plus CT squared. So, this is kind of a power series. And also, CP can be expressed in some literatures as A plus B over T plus C over T squared. So, quotients of increasing powers of the temperature. Okay? So, depende yan sa literature na titignan nyo. Okay? So, to be able to calculate for this change, okay, kunyari, na magkakalculate kayo ng enthalpy, you just have to integrate from T0 to T, Cp dt. So, kung ano man yung final at initial temperature nyo, nandyan yan, Cp dt, okay, lalagyan nyo lang to ng dt and then you'll integrate. Kapag naman delta S, okay, the calculation of the Cp for the changes in temperature is equal to the integral from T0 to T of Cp dt over T. Okay, so, gagamitin nyo lang either of the two, depende sa given. Okay? So, let's have an example. Calculate the enthalpy and entropy change for the following transformation per mole H2O. So, the change is from solid water, negative 4 degrees Celsius siya, magiging gaseous na water or water vapor at 110 degrees Celsius. So, given na yung enthalpy of fusion, enthalpy of vaporization, CP ng solid, liquid, and gas. Yung pansin nyo, sa gas, pina-follow niya yung itong form. Okay? So this form is being followed by this particular CP. Okay? So the first thing to do is to construct the reversible paths. So tulad siya ng ginagawa natin dun sa mga previous na examples. Okay? So given an irreversible path or path like this, na parehong nag-change yung phase and temperature, we'll build parang thermodynamic process na reversible yung paths. So for this process, i-change muna natin yung temperature to 0 degrees Celsius kasi we need to transform water into a liquid first. Okay? So, from negative 4 to 0 degrees Celsius yung ating ice. So, hindi nagbago yung phase. Next, for H2, we can now change the phase of the water kasi we are at 0 degrees Celsius. So, yung delta H2 nyo, it's the fusion enthalpy. Okay? So, this is just the Cp of the solid times T2 minus T1. Okay? For delta H3, change in temperature from 0 to 100 ng ating liquid water. So, this is just the Cp of the liquid times T3 minus T2. Okay? So, for the next phase change na siya from liquid to gas. So, ang gagawin na natin dito, okay, ang substitute natin dyan ay yung vaporization enthalpy. Okay? So, finally, we have this delta H5. So, gas siya from 100 to 110. The increase can be calculated using this equation. So, from T3 to T4, okay, Cp dt. So, using this particular Cp expression for the gas. Okay? So, now, if we have the thermodynamic processes, okay, nakapag-construct na tayo ng reversible paths, we can now calculate for the enthalpy change for the process. So, the total enthalpy is equal to delta H1 plus delta H2, the fusion enthalpy, change of phase from solid to liquid. Tapos, yung delta H3, delta H4 is from liquid to gas, yun yung phase transformation niya. And finally, delta H5, okay, the integral of Cp dt from T3 to T4. So, calculating the integral first, we have this. So, yung integral ng first term, okay, so the first term is 3380 dt. Ang integral nun ay 33.80 times delta t. Okay? Tapos, ito yun. Okay? Next is yung negative 0.00795 t dt. Ang integral nun ay 1/2 t squared. Okay? Bound from T3 to T4. So, ito yung lalabas na term. Okay? Finally, we have this integral. So, this is the integral of t squared dt. This is 1/3 t cubed. So, ganyan yung magiging ating expression. Okay? So, kapag na-calculate nyo na to, okay, pwede na nating i-add lahat ng enthalpies. So, for delta H1, we have 144.8 joules per mole. That's just the Cp dt for the first enthalpy. Okay? This 6020 is the enthalpy of fusion. 7530 is the Cp times T3 minus T2. Ito yung delta H3. Okay? Delta H4 is just the vaporization enthalpy. And finally, delta H5 is the value for this expression. Okay, kapag in-evaluate niya yung integral. Okay, so kapag in-add nyo yung lahat, you'll get delta H total is equal to 54,743.97 joules per mole. Okay, so now we need to calculate the entropy for the whole process. To be able to do that, we need the same constants. Okay, tsaka kailangan din natin no, kinonstruct nating reversible paths. Okay, so for each reversible path, we have a corresponding entropy. So delta S1, delta S2, delta S3, 4, and 5. Okay, so calculating the entropy change or the total entropy for the process, we have for the delta S1, Cp of the solid times ln T2 over T1, plus for delta S2, we have a phase change, so that's just the enthalpy of fusion divided by the working temperature, which is 0 degrees Celsius or 273.15 Kelvin. So for delta S3, that's just the temperature change. So we use the Cp of the liquid times ln T3, the 100 degrees Celsius or the 373.15 Kelvin, over T2, which is 273.15 Kelvin. So, remind ko lang kayo ulit na Kelvin ang dapat na ginagamit na unit kapag ka nag-evaluate ng mga entropies. Okay? So, going back, delta S4 is just the vaporization enthalpy over the working temperature, which is 100 degrees Celsius, okay? Or 373.15 Kelvin. So, finally, for the delta S5, we have the integral from T3 to T4 of Cp of the gas, okay? Which is this expression, okay? Times dt over t. So kapag in-evaluate nyo yung integral ng expression na yan, you will get the value of delta S5. Okay? So, ito yon. So, you'll get this, okay, after the integration of this expression, okay, bound from T3 to T4 or 100 to 110 degrees Celsius. Okay? So, finally, calculating each value, we have 0.534 for delta S1, 22.039 for delta S2, 23.491 for delta S3, 109.071 for delta S4, and finally for delta S5, which is the value for this expression, 0.921 joules per mole. So kapag in-add nyo lahat ng values na yan, you'll get the entropy of the process, which is 156.056 joules per mole Kelvin. Okay? So now let's try to determine how to evaluate if a certain process is spontaneous or not by evaluating the so-called entropy of the universe. So natutunan natin from previous discussions that if there is an adiabatic system or isolated system, kung ano man yung nangyayari dun sa loob na irreversible, it should contribute positively sa entropy. Okay? Kasi hindi natin ini-influence yung system na yun from the surroundings. So kung nangyayari siya dun ng kusa, positive yung magiging entropy change doon. So nagpakita ko ng examples dun sa mga previous videos. Okay? Also, since the universe is considered as an isolated system, kasi wala namang surroundings, theoretically, ang ating universe, okay, anything that happens inside the universe that is spontaneous should contribute positively to the entropy. Okay? So, the entropy of the universe is equal to the entropy of the system plus the entropy of the surroundings. Kung may change in entropy of the system, may corresponding change yun sa entropy ng surroundings. So, yung system and surroundings nasa loob siya ng universe. If the delta S of the universe is greater than 0, the process should happen spontaneously. Otherwise, if it's less than 0, it requires external influence or support. If delta S is equal to 0, the system is undergoing a reversible adiabatic process. Okay? So, ang ibig sabihin nun, the process is not irreversible. It's happening very slowly kasi dapat maintain ang mechanical equilibrium kapag ka reversible. Tapos, adiabatic, walang in and out or walang input or output ng Q or heat. Okay? So, to be able to determine the delta S of the surroundings, we need to calculate the Q of the surroundings divided by the temperature of the surroundings. So, dapat alam natin yung temperature ng surroundings. Okay? To be able to calculate the Q of the surroundings, we need to calculate the Q of the system. Kasi based on the first law of thermodynamics, Q surroundings plus Q system is equal to 0. Energy is neither created nor destroyed. So, therefore, Q surroundings is equal to negative Q system. Okay? So, if this heat is done at constant temperature and pressure, ibig sabihin latent heat siya, this is delta H. Okay? So, as an example, determine if the following process is spontaneous. The temperature of the surroundings is 298.15 Kelvin. So, we have here a superheated ice kasi ice siya pero ang temperature niya ay 298.15 Kelvin. So, it will be converted to liquid water at the same temperature. Okay? So, first, we construct the reversible paths kasi this particular process is irreversible. Okay? We will try to determine if this happens spontaneously or not. Okay? So, constructing the reversible paths, we have conversion of the temperature from 298 to 273.15. That's delta S1 or delta H1. Okay? This is delta S2 delta H2, okay? Change from solid to liquid, that's delta H of fusion, okay? So finally, we have the last step, change from 273.15 back to 298.15. So that is delta H3 and delta S3, okay? So calculating the delta S of the system, we have Cp ln T2 over T1, okay? So 273 yung T2, 298.15 yung T1, okay? So plus the delta H of fusion of water, okay, over T2. So T2 is 273.15 plus Cp of the liquid times ln T3 over T2. So meron na tayong mga values ng Cp's tsaka ng delta H ng water, okay? So kunin nyo na lang yung mga constants na yon, tapos calculate nyo yung delta S ng system. So kapag tapos nyo mag-calculate, you will get 25.46 joules per mole Kelvin. Okay? So you have now the delta S of the system. So now let's calculate the Q of the system. Okay? So Q of the system is delta H of the system. In this case, since all is happening at constant pressure. So the Q of the system is just delta H1, Cp, T2 minus T1. So delta H2 is this the enthalpy of fusion. Delta S3 is the Cp of the liquid times T3 minus T2. Or this, in this case, yung T3 nyo ay yung T1. Di ba? This is T1. Okay? Kasi babalik siya sa 298.15. So the Q of the system is 6997.5 joules per mole. So since the Q of the surroundings is equal to the negative of the Q of the system, this is the Q of the surroundings, negative 6997.5. Okay? Then calculate the delta S of the surroundings. Okay? So the delta S of the surroundings is the Q of the surroundings, which is this value, 6997.5 negative, over the temperature of the surroundings, which is the 298.15 Kelvin. That's the temperature of your surroundings. Okay? So dividing the values, we have negative 23.47. So finally, we can calculate the delta S of the universe, delta S of the system, which is 25.46 joules per mole Kelvin. Ito yung value na yun. Okay? And then we have the delta S of the surroundings. We have negative 23.47. Pag inad mo yan, we have a positive 2.131 joules per mole Kelvin. Since positive yung entropy, the process happens spontaneously. So ganyan mag-evaluate ng entropy ng universe. Okay? So next is prediction of the spontaneous processes inside adiabatic systems. So ano mangyayari kapag meron tayong component na may dalawang phases, tapos pinaghalo natin sila sa isang adiabatic container? Okay? So as an example, we have 1 mole of ice at negative 10 degrees Celsius mixed with 1 mole of liquid water at 20 degrees Celsius inside a dewar flask. So this is an adiabatic flask. Okay? So determine the composition of the phases inside the flask and the temperature at equilibrium. So final temperature and the final composition of the phases. Gaano karami yung ice tsaka water. Okay? So given na yung Cp ng solid and Cp ng liquid. We also need the fusion enthalpy for water. Okay? This is 6.02 times 10 to the 3 joules per mole. Okay? So for the first step, let us first set up our expectations or the premises. So number 1, since the flask is adiabatic, any heat released or absorbed by the ice is equal to the heat absorbed or released by water. Syempre, since water has the higher temperature, expected natin na siya yung magbibigay ng heat dun sa ice. Okay? Siya yung magta-transfer ng heat dun sa ice. Okay? Na-discuss na natin yan sa ating previous videos. That is the direction of the heat from a region of higher temperature to lower temperature. First law of thermodynamics, syempre, dapat zero yung total Q kasi adiabatic yung ating system. Okay? So next assumption, delta S should be positive since the process is spontaneous. Okay? So ito na yung ating premises. So next, let's construct the reversible paths. So my technique here is to set both to 0 degrees Celsius. Kasi this is solid and liquid. Nagkakaroon lang ng phase transformation at 0 degrees Celsius. Okay? I-set natin sa ganun. Kung ano man yung phase ng isang component, tapos yung phase ng other component, if they are the same, okay, substance, i-set natin doon sa temperature kung saan nagkakaroon sila ng phase equilibrium. Kasi this delta H of fusion happens at, again, 0 degrees Celsius. So, mas magandang magkaroon tayo ng exchange ng phases dito sa temperature na to. Okay? So, sinet ko yung solid tsaka liquid water both at 0 degrees Celsius. So, the heat, okay, of change for ice is positive 362 joules kasi tumaas yung temperature niya. Sa water naman, negative 1506 joules. So, kapag inad mo yan, meron kang Q1 na negative 1144 joules. So, meron tayong kailangang i-absorb na heat na negative 1144 joules. Okay? Kasi yan yung heat na na-release dito sa first reversible step. So, dapat may mag-absorb niyan. Ang mag-absorb niyan ay yung ice. So, the ice becomes a mixture of the solid phase, yung hindi nagmelt, at may magme-melt na ice. Okay? So, the Q of this melting should be equal to positive 1144 joules. Para kapag in-add mo yung Q1 tsaka Q2, total niya ay 0. Okay? So, the Q here is the delta H of transformation from solid to liquid. Siyempre, we need to use the delta H of fusion. But the value is per mole. This is joules per mole. Okay? So, kung joules per mole siya, gaano kaya karami kapag kailangan lang natin ay 1144 joules ng transformation. The value of the delta H of fusion is 6.02 times 10 to the 3 kapag 1 mole. Paano kapag hindi 1 mole? So, yun yung i-determine natin. Okay? So, since 1144 joules lang yung kailangan natin, X moles lang ng water yung mag-melt. So, kailangan natin malaman kung ilang moles ng water or ice yung mag-melt dito sa system. So, setting up this equation, so, I'll clean this up first. Okay? The Q, which is the delta H of the transformation, is positive 1144 joules. It is equal to the enthalpy of fusion times the number of moles of the ice that should melt. Okay? So, if you solve this equation, X is equal to 0.190 moles. This is the amount of ice that should melt. Okay? 1 minus X is 0.810 moles. This is the amount of ice that should remain. So, sa 1 mole ng ice, yung 0.190 moles, yun yung magiging liquid. Yung 0.810 moles, yun yung magsistay as ice. Okay? Ang kailangan lang kasi natin ay ma-absorb si 1144 joules ng heat. Okay? So, at equilibrium, makikita natin na ang final temperature niya ay 0 degrees Celsius. Kasi we no longer need to absorb or release any heat dito sa system. So, magsistay na siya at 0 degrees Celsius. And the final amounts are 0.810 moles H2O, solid, or 0.810 moles ng ice, kasi yun yung hindi nagmelt. Tapos, 1.190 moles ng liquid water. That's 1 mole of the liquid water here, plus yung nadagdag na 0.190. Ito yung nagmelt. Okay? So, ang total nun ay 1.190. So, next is to calculate the entropy of the process. So, dapat positive ang entropy nito. So, the delta S is equal to the delta S of the ice, okay, plus the delta S of the water. So, sa delta S ng ice, we have the number of moles of ice, which is 1 mole times Cp of the solid times ln T2 over T1. This T1 here is the negative 10 or the 263.15 Kelvin. The T2 is the 0 degrees or the 273.15 Kelvin, okay? Tapos, i-add natin yung N melted times delta H of fusion. So, ang N ng melted ay 0.190. So, this is 0.190, okay, mole. And this is the 6.02 times 10 to the 3 joules per mole, okay, divided by the 273.15 Kelvin. So, kapag dinetermine natin yung sum niyan, we have 5.538 joules per Kelvin for the entropy of ice. Doon naman sa water, ang nangyari lang sa kanya ay nag-decrease lang yung temperature niya from 20 degrees Celsius, okay, naging 0 degrees Celsius lang siya. So, N water, that's 1 mole, times Cp ng liquid, okay, that's 75 point something, okay, Ln times T2 over T1. T2 is the 0 degrees Celsius or the 273.15 Kelvin, okay. This T1 is the 20 degrees, so 20 plus 273.15 Kelvin. So, ang makukuha nyo dyan na value, I'll clean this up muna. Okay. Makukuha nyong value dyan ay negative 5.321 joules per Kelvin. So, i-add nyo to. 5.538 joules per Kelvin minus 5.321 joules per Kelvin. Ang makukuha nyong total na entropy na nangyari dun sa process is 0.217 joules per Kelvin. This is a positive value kasi spontaneous dapat yung process na yan kasi that's an irreversible process. Okay? So for another example, we need to calculate the final temperature and the entropy when 50 grams of silver, so given na yung kanyang molar mass, 107.9 grams per mole, and its Cp, 25.35 joules per mole Kelvin. So the silver is at 40 degrees and is submerged in 20 grams of water. So the respective molar mass and heat capacity for water is given. So again, we need to determine the final temperature and the entropy. So first things first, construct the premises or assumptions for this system. So number 1, the heat, okay, absorbed or released by water plus the heat absorbed or released by silver should equate to 0. So kung ano man yung i-release na heat ng silver, since it has the higher temperature, yun lang din yung amount ng heat na mare-receive ng water. So we have to assume that these two systems are the only ones interacting. Okay? Unless otherwise specified dun sa problem. So the next one is the delta S should be greater than 0 because this is a spontaneous process. Wala tayong influence ng surroundings dito. Finally, no chemical reaction. So hindi nagre-react si silver at si water sa isa't isa. Okay? Otherwise, magkakaroon tayo ng mga discrepancies natin sa calculations, or at least dapat specified din siya sa problem. Okay? So now we need to construct the reversible paths. So initially, meron tayong 40 degrees Celsius ng 50 grams of silver. Okay? Silver is solid. So 20 grams naman ng water na liquid at 20 degrees Celsius. Okay? So Q1 is the amount of heat released by this component, the silver. Okay? So magkakaroon siya ng decrease in the temperature. So from 40 degrees Celsius, magiging TF. Hindi pa natin alam kung ano yung final temperature nito. So yung heat released by silver will be absorbed by water, so which will cause the temperature of this component to increase to TF. Okay? So how do we calculate this? We need to assume that all the heat released by silver is absorbed by water. Wala nang ibang components sa system. Silver tsaka water lang. That's how we calculate the final temperature. So since heat at constant pressure is delta H, okay, so the Q for silver is just N, the number of moles of silver, times the heat capacity of silver at constant pressure. Okay, so molar heat capacity yan. So this is N Cp bar times the delta T. So the delta T is final temperature minus the initial temperature, which is 40 degrees Celsius. So hindi na kailangan i-convert sa Kelvin. Kasi, again, the delta T in degrees Celsius is equal to the delta T in Kelvin. Okay? So the Q of silver is equal to the negative Q of water. So ang negative Q naman ng water, N of H2O naman to, times Cp ng water, okay, times the delta T, the final temperature again, minus yung 20 degrees Celsius na initial temperature naman ng water. Okay? So solving this equation, we get the final temperature is 22.46 degrees Celsius. Okay? So meron na tayong final temperature. So next, we calculate the delta S. So the delta S is calculated individually. So meron tayong delta S ng silver tsaka delta S ng water. So the delta S should be equal to the sum, the delta S of the silver plus the delta S of the water. Okay? So delta S is N, okay, the amount of silver. So lagay na natin dyan, times the heat capacity of silver, 25.35, times Ln, final temperature over initial temperature. Ito ay dapat i-convert sa Kelvin. Okay? So yung final temperature, convert 22.46 degrees Celsius to Kelvin, then convert 40 degrees Celsius to Kelvin. So after calculations, we get negative 0.677 joules per Kelvin. This is for silver. So delta S naman ng water, number of moles ng water, ito yun, times yung heat capacity ng water, which is the 75.3 joules per mole Kelvin, times Ln, final temperature ng water is yung 22.46 pa din, okay, equal na sila ng temperature, minus or over T0, which is the 20 degrees Celsius. Okay? So after the calculation, we'll get 0.699 joules per Kelvin for the entropy of the water. So kapag in-add nyo yung dalawa, 0.699 minus 0.677 joules per Kelvin, we get the total entropy for the process, 0.0220 joules per Kelvin. So this is a net positive increase in the entropy for the process. Okay? So for the next videos, i-discuss naman natin yung chemical reactions using Hess law, tapos we'll discuss Born-Haber cycle. So see you next video.